Hey, everybody, and welcome to Superhero Speak. I'm your host, Dave.
And I'm Don.
And yeah, there's not a lot to talk about tonight. I think this is going to be a short one. We shall see.
Famous last words.
I know. What do we got on deck for tonight? We're going to talk some Superman. There's a little bit of news, rumors, whatever about the movie. We'll talk about that a little bit. Some comic book news related to Superman. Yes. I don't know if anyone noticed. I'm trying to bring comic book related stuff into every episode.
Yeah.
We need to really get back to that. We got away from that for a long while. And then we're going to talk about Star Wars. What is it? Stories of the Underworld. That's it.
Tales of the Underworld.
Tales of the Underworld, not stories. Tales of the Underworld. But we both watched it. It's on Disney Plus. I have some thoughts, and yeah, it's not a very exciting show, but we'll talk about that. In the meantime, how are you, my friend? Anything new with you since Sunday night?
Yeah, I got my box of Final Fantasy Magic: The Gathering cards, which was super fun. Got the Chase, Cloud, and Sephiroth, which was nice. It actually made me rethink a whole thing, and then that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, I just think it was really cool. Well done. The mechanics that they introduced, the way that the cards were written, and the flavor was totally Final Fantasy, yet also Magic: The Gathering. So you're going to hear people complain. It's kind of funny / stupid because like a lot of people are complaining about being done with Magic and how horrible this all is. And they're whining. They're doing this all over because there's demand for the product.
Right.
And it's like, why should a company be punished because there's demand for their product? And I know there's going to be a billion counterpoints to that, but nonetheless, I'm having fun with it. I got some more stuff coming, so that'll be equally exciting. But that's the biggest thing going on in my world this week, Dave. What about you? Since 3 days ago or whatnot.
I actually went out with the girlfriend last night, and she offered to take me to the comic book shop, and we got there before it closed this time. So I did pick up The World to Come, issue 1, and Absolute Flash #1, because I do want to read that, and I wanted to get the physical book. Flash is one of my favorite DC characters, so I was like, why not? I'll go to Flash. Haven't started reading that one yet. Have started reading The World to Come, and it is definitely a setup story. Like the first issue is just setting up what this story is going to be. It jumps through time. It basically starts at what appears to be, I'm not convinced yet, the end of T'Challa's life. He's an old man sitting on a throne, and he dies. And then they flash back to the time they thought he died before. So that already kind of ruined some of the story coming up, which is the time when the sun shows up and there's the challenge. So it's all basically set up for what this story is going to be. And yeah, it is the absolute last page. It's a full splash page of the sun's face, the white. So it's like, oh, okay, yeah. It wasn't even like the bottom panel, the whole page. It's like, yeah, you're punching us with this. Like you're making a statement. So yeah, that's been that's been my week since so far. A lot of sick people around me, which is never fun.
Oh,
yeah, and the girlfriend is sick. She started feeling sick last night, and so she was like, "We'll just like after dinner." She's like, "Let's just go home." She dropped me off, and then she went home, and then she said she was like feeling sick all day. So I'll probably be next.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Forgive my sip. But yeah, that's really all going on since then. So yeah, that's it. We shall oh God, I don't have a segue. So With all that being said, here's our good friend Dark Don to tell you how you can find more superhero speak.
Darth Don here. And you must subscribe to Superhero Speak if you haven't already. And if you have already, make another account and subscribe again. You also will like this video. And while you're on the HoloNet, go to superheroespeak.com. Find the links to our merch and purchase one of our shirts. Don't skimp on the shipping, or else I will trap you in a box with an agitated Gundog named Brie Larson. I would just force lightning you, but we don't have that in the effects budget. Now, back to the show.
What happened?
I don't know.
There we go. All right. You know what? I have noticed in our last bunch of streams and on even looking at after the fact, I don't think anyone watches us on Facebook anymore. So I don't know. If you watch us on Facebook, let us know in the comments and we'll keep the stream going there. But, you know, no sense in transmitting to a dead platform. Oh, did I say that out loud? I do remember
for video watching.
Yeah. I do remember what I was going to say when I lost my thought before the transition to the Darth Don. So we did on Sunday we had our good friend Montego on. We talked about this controversial Black Panther story. And of course, anyone who watches the channel knows that we take the show, we create a bunch of shorts and put them out during the in between episodes to promote the show and keep content out there. And this comment wasn't on the episode itself. This comment was on one of the shorts. I'm not going to say what the comment was, but there's a lot of nasty racist people out there who just can't handle a intelligent black man with an opinion, and it was kind of upsetting. I know I shared it with you a little bit in text, but it's just like, you know, those are the people why we still have a problem in this country. Let's just learn to listen to people's opinion and not just tell them they're wrong, you know. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say what the comments was. One person kind of said something and I was just like, it was said that, oh, you know, this is fake. I don't know what they meant by that, but like they said something nasty and then said, like, we basically said we were like idiots and this is all fake. And I said, what's fake, the comic book story or your mom? So there was like a little bit of a flame war back and forth, and he kept commenting, and I just kept going, oh, thanks for the comments to raise our engagement. You're muted.
Oh, so you missed. I was laughing my ass off. Anyway, yeah, my dogs are barking. But yeah, no, I mean, that's, you know, sad but true. You know, good Metallica song. But you know, the internet is just not a farm positive. It's like farming negative. I mean, it does. Unfortunately, people bitching about the stuff we say or our opinion, you know, it does increase the engagement. So and yeah, I mean, if you go look for stupid racist shit on the internet, I mean, you'll find it.
You don't quickly. Have to look far. Yes.
Yeah. It's like a Tuesday.
All right.
No problem. You know, well, it is a problem, but
So there's two things I wanted to talk about the Superman movie coming up. First off, it
Hmm.
has been confirmed that there is an after credit scene for Superman. It's
Yeah.
also been confirmed that does not set anything up for the future. It's not
Hmm.
critical to stay to watch it. It's just like an extra beat for the movie, like an extra little joke or something at the end. Um, I find that refreshing. Like, I hope that's true because it's just like, you know, let's just have a little fun after credit scene. We don't need to worry about what the next 5 movies are going to be. Like, let's just have fun with
Hmm.
it. I don't know. What do you think?
Okay. I think it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
On one side of the sword, James Gunn, has stated that this is the beginning of the new DC movie universe.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to see a lot of other DC characters, not just Superman. So, it's happening in an already living, breathing, moving universe. So you would expect that this being the first movie to kick off this universe, that much like, Iron Man and Hulk and, you know, that we would get an end credit that would say, oh, the game is on, or, something, or we're gathering a team or something like that. However, I also think, I don't know if refreshing is the word I would use. I guess I would use the word wise,
Okay.
because why set something up that you have to undo in the future if certain circumstances lead to it?
Agreed.
Why worry about a whole universe, which obviously they are, but why not make it so, let's just get this done? Let's just do this good. Let's just do this well, dependent on itself and nothing else,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll go from there. So, I don't disagree with
I
it's unexpected, but it does make a lot of sense to me.
I actually in my feed the other day, a clip popped up which was the Shang-Chi after credit scene. And for those who don't remember, he goes into this, he gets called into this secret meeting, and there's the Hulk. Well, Bruce Banner is on a video
Yeah,
screen, and so is Captain Marvel, and the head of the Dora Melange, however you say that.
yeah,
Um, um, and they're talking about the rings, and they notice that they're sending a signal out into space. You
yeah.
know, that where did that go? Like, we haven't heard anything about that since that after credit scene. That's one of the things, like, it
Mhm.
used to be we got an after credit scene that was tied to the next movie that was coming out. With Shang-Chi, they gave us an after credit scene that was supposed to be, I feel like, was setting up something for Kang.
Yeah.
And now that Kang storyline is dead, so that after credit scene is pointless. So yeah,
Yep.
that's kind of why I'm like, yeah, let's not worry about setting up the next movie or the next 2 movies in an after credit scene. Let's just have some fun with it. And then unfortunately, we're in a world where people expect after credit scenes in a DC or in a comic book movie. So, um,
Well, movies in general, particularly
yeah.
since, franchises are all the rage. Although maybe not so, I don't know, maybe we're learning from that, because a lot of universes, that aren't Marvel have had a tough go at it in the movies.
So, have you seen? I'm not going to play it. I didn't set it up. But have you seen any of the new footage that's been released, like the new trailers for Superman, where you see a little bit more, and they're kind of like little ads on social media to say, "Oh, tickets now on sale." Like, there's a scene where Superman's using his laser vision and he's shooting all these robots flying around him.
Oh, no.
Oh, wow! Um, and there's a couple more scenes of him fighting uh, somebody, and it's all shadowy and dark, and he has long hair, and you can't see his face or anything, and there's like light shining down on him, and it looks like his hair is blonde. But I do caution, because lighting can make dark hair look blonde. I've seen that before, but this has
I don't
led
know.
this has led to a new theory that the man in the black suit is not Ultraman. Is that he is, and I have a picture here, Ulysses, who's a character that was introduced in the New 52. So here he is on a cover. He's wearing an all black uniform that's got a big U on the front, and he's got long blonde hair. So interesting. Like, there's all this, like, everyone just said Ultraman because he's the most famous. And Ulysses does have the powers of Superman. So there's all of these.
Oh, they want to go the Marvel route, the Marvel villain route.
Well, if it was Ultraman, it still would have been the same route. Ultraman and Ulysses are basically the same kind of character. I don't think Ulysses was necessarily, like, he started out, I think, as a bad guy and became a good guy, where Ultraman was always a bad guy. So
you got me on this because I'm a DC layman. When you say Ultraman, I'm thinking of like the bug-eyed guy that, the giant bug-eyed, what I'm talking about, the kaiju fighting dude
yes.
in Japan.
So. Yes. No, Ultraman is, I believe, he's Superman from like an alternate universe where it's not the Justice League, it's like the League of Doom or something. And and like there's
that old gag.
Yeah, there's an evil version of each character, and Superman is Ultraman in that universe. So that's why everyone was just like, oh, it's Ultraman because he's got a U. He seems to have the same powers as Superman. But it could be. But like Ulysses was a New 52 character. I don't think when they rebooted the universe again, I don't think they brought him back. But if James Gunn wanted to use him as a one-off for this movie, like, why not grab that character?
Like like a Taskmaster in Thunderbolts one-off.
Like we never talked about this, but I saw an article that claimed the original script, Taskmaster doesn't die, and that there's a lot of the story revolves around her.
Okay, then.
And somebody else died in the beginning. I think maybe Ghost died and she lived.
Okay.
And so the story revolved around her, but then it got changed. I don't think it was one of these things where they filmed all these scenes and then went back and redid it. I think it was like, they read the script and didn't like it and changed it, but like, I don't know. It's weird because how do you go from she was a central character and important to the story to like she was killed within 5 minutes?
Yeah, very unceremoniously.
Yes, very unceremoniously.
Unless that could have happened, they could have written that and then just decided we don't have the time, we don't have the money, just kill her in the opening scene.
Or it was just like maybe they took a quick poll. Who cares about Taskmaster? And no one said yes. And they're like, all right, fine, we'll kill her.
Or, obviously they listen to or watch our show, rather, and I've complained about that Taskmaster plenty of times. I said I wanted to see her die, and that's what happened. It's just...
Yeah. You didn't realize the power you had. So.
Oh, no, I mean, listen, JD once called my show House of D's Nuts, and where's he? And then, then we got John. I'm just fucking around. Because we got time, which, Kassan Ward, a regular here, commenter on the show, wants to extend our shows to 2 hours. So here we are on Wednesday. If you want to go on some tangent shit, here we are. But, he's not here.
Yeah, but none of our usuals are here tonight. So, what are you going to do? I also noticed that, like, Frosty shows up a lot of times when we're like an hour in on Sundays. So yeah, he must live on the West Coast or something.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then the other piece of other piece of Superman news, which is comic book news, the way this article reads, I thought was kind of funny. So they're saying that they're retconning Superman's origin with a Silver Age twist. And then when you go in and read the article, it's basically saying they're showing him as a kid, and Jonathan Kent, his father, is like helping teach him how to be a superhero. Saying like, look at what these other superheroes are doing, and how they defeat enemies, and like you learn from them. And in fact, it goes on to say that like then they show him as fighting his first supervillain, and he defeats him this way the Flash defeated another hero by creating a tornado around him. Like, okay, I don't necessarily call that a retcon, right? Because like a couple things. First off, Superman is the most retconned hero of all time.
Sure.
His like the character that was originally envisioned by Siegel and Schuster is not the character he is today, for lots of various reasons. And then, I don't feel like you go back into the Golden Age and Silver Age when they had like Superboy comics, and he was part of the what's the name of the league? The one from the future, and they have all those Stargirl and not Stargirl. Shoot, she's
did they make a TV show out of it?
The Legion, that's it. Like he gets his Legion ring and he goes into the future, and it like they all worshipped him, basically, or not worship, but like idolized Superman, and that's why they formed the Legion. And then they went back in time to meet him. It's not Superman, it's Superboy, and like this is all weird golden Silver Age stuff that like they don't really touch on today. It's kind of like that never existed, So anything that like, because they were saying, oh, because originally Superboy's first encounter happened here and blah, blah. It's like, do you really consider that like hard canon? Like DC doesn't have hard canon, especially for Superman, So to say they're retconning him, I feel is a stretch. It's just like, no, they're just telling a story from when he was a kid, and it shows his father helping to teach him how to, be a better hero. Like that makes sense to me,
Yeah, I mean, they could all, I remember because we watched that Superman show, and I remember one thing that I complained about it was, how Jonathan Kent's role was very, very diminished. So I don't know. Maybe they felt bad and said, no, we wanted to go back and say, Jonathan Kent, Professor X, Superman, whatever, taught him to use his powers or whatever the hell. I just don't think it matters at all. So yeah, why add another layer?
Yeah, because it's funny when you. I know way too much about Superman because he was always like for a long time was one of my favorite characters. I still like Superman a lot, but like people don't realize like he couldn't fly. Like in the original story, everyone on Krypton was like him, right?
Yeah,
but he wasn't ultra powerful. He was super strong, and had like some other abilities, but he couldn't fly. He could leap. Like people forget that leap tall buildings in a single bound, not fly over buildings. So when they started making him have the ability to fly, the question became, well, then why didn't the people from Krypton just fly off and save themselves? So then it was like, oh, because they didn't have his powers. They had a red sun, and then he needs his yellow sun to do it. So it's like stuff like that. Like as they made Superman more powerful and gave him more powers, it was like, well, wait, why about this? What about that? So they kept retconning him,
Yeah. So, I mean, with that old a character, that many writers.
Yeah, exactly.
It's bound to happen multiple times over.
I mean, he's getting onto being around for almost 100 years. You know,
Yeah, that's
when is it?
crazy.
What is it? 37? I can't remember the first super. It's the 30s. I just can't remember what year. Um, so like yeah, like any character who's been around that long has to have what you call it.
Oh, evolved. I don't know. Just
Yes,
had
that's the
writers
word.
change shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
evolved, I think, is the right word. So 38. Okay, so 38. So yeah, 7 years he'll be 100. So crazy, crazy. I wonder what they're gonna do for his 100th birthday.
I don't know. They should do something huge in Cleveland.
Yeah, they're gonna use.
We'll have a dome soon, so hey, we can.
They should use genetic manipulation to create an actual Superman.
I don't think that's a good idea.
No, you sure? Oh man, what does
That
our
sounds
audience
bad.
think? Let us know in the comments below. What would happen if there was a real life Superman who was born today? Would we all be dead? All right.
At some point.
All right. That's it. That's it for the news. It's all I grabbed because we're gonna talk about Star Wars Tales from the Underworld. No, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Underworld, not underground. I wrote underground in the notes. So that came out. It came out what, mid-May?
Yeah, May the 4th, I think.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay. So it came out last month. It's on Disney Plus. It's 6. The whole show is 6 episodes that are about 15 to 18 minutes a piece. So you
came out during Andor, actually. I mean, just amongst a bevy of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can knock it out, the whole thing, in like an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes with pee breaks. So, so so go check it out. But we're going to talk about it because it deals with around 2 characters from the Clone Wars, Ventress and Cad Bane. And I gotta tell you right off the bat, I was shocked because I thought it was going to be a single story and the 2 of them were going to, collide at some point in the story.
Yeah.
But spoilers, the first 3 episodes are Ventress, the second 3 episodes are Cad Bane, and they are completely unrelated stories. So, So before we get into too much of it, obviously I watched it today, the whole thing. You watched it. You got caught up this week, I guess, on it.
Yeah.
So what were your initial thoughts after you watched it?
After I watched it, after thinking for a little while, I really appreciate it. It's not, a masterpiece or supremely awesome, nothing like that. Not Acolyte level. I'm just kidding. But I was like, okay, cool, because it was just interesting to see. Okay, so Asajj Ventress, the last time we saw her, she died.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I'm sure not a lot of people there's some people that probably even heard about this character, but anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see that the Jedi, Quinlan Vos, loved her.
Right.
And because she's a Danthamiri witch who comes from the planet Danthamir and Mother Talzin and all their mystic force shit, she came back from the dead through the power of love. So, I mean, hey, again, laser sword, space wizards, lesbian witches, all that. So, okay, cool. All right. So what's interesting with her is, as I mentioned, she's from Danthamir, which is the same place Darth Maul is from.
Right.
And there's a Darth Maul series coming. Now, we know Darth Maul's, spoiler alert, ultimate fate that happened in the animated show Rebels.
Yep.
But the way Star Wars kind of exists in different eras at the same time at this
Yep.
point. They're with basically him and Ventress are kind of they're still alive
Right.
in the pre-sequel stuff or whatever. So that's just an interesting. It's just interesting that both of them basically should have died, but for one reason or other they didn't. They're both from Danthamir, and something tells me we're going to kind of get to see them cross roads, and that'll be an interesting dynamic. So, thinking of all that, I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. Cad Bane, I mean, it was like, okay, cool, finally to get the origin of him, and you do kind of understand why he is the way he is or how ruthless he is.
Kinda. I'm gonna get to that. So yeah, go ahead.
Okay. But overall though, it was a good story to see how like two people who were in the exact same circumstance ended up on completely two different sides of the coin. One goes into law enforcement and the other one becomes Cad Bane. So I thought that was interesting, a little interesting origin for Cad Bane. So two interesting, maybe not well-known characters of Star Wars being explored in this way in under an hour and a half. I thought it was pretty cool. I wasn't initially super excited about it because my favorite aspect is Jedi, Sith. But again, we kind of get that with Asajj. I mean,
right.
She's got her lightsabers and stuff, and that's cool. And there's another Jedi with her. So yeah, I ended up again. It got lost in the minutia of May the 4th and all that stuff, and Andor was going on.
Yeah.
But in this day and age, we get to go back and enjoy shit like that, and yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, the same though. I felt like the Ventress story was setting something up. Like it doesn't feel like it concludes. She's taking, I can't remember his name, the young Jedi to the road, which is a place where the Jedi are hiding, right? So this is obviously after the fall of the New Republic, the Empire and the Jedi are being hunted down, and we find out that Jedi are not extinct. They're in hiding on quote unquote the road, which sounds like the setup for a series to me. Right there. And she they go through their adventures. Never trust a bounty hunter, and they get she finally gets him to the ship where the Jedi are meeting, and he's like, "Oh, come with me," and she's like, "No, this is your journey," and then she leaves, and then he he turns around and says, "Oh, then I'm going to go with you," and then they ride off into the sunset, which was like, oh, okay, but this is setting something up. So then when we switch to Cad Bane, and it's a completely different story, I'm like, wait, but I got interested in her story. What happened? It's funny too, because I did ask my son if he watched it, because the Clone Wars is his Star Wars. Like that's his Star Wars era.
Yeah.
He was a kid when the Clone Wars came out. And he watched it religiously. Obi-Wan is his favorite Jedi, the whole thing. And so I asked him if he watched it, and he's like, no. He's like, I didn't even know it was a thing. And I told him the basic premise, that it was two stories, one Cad Bane, one with Ventress. And he was like, oh. He said, that's interesting. He's like, she was a very short-lived character. Like she was in the show and then she dies, and it's like, oh, you got to watch it. I just left it at that,
interesting character, because she was introduced in something that some would consider, I will never consider this non-canon, but some would consider, I might mess up his name, Sarkovsky's Clone Wars shorts
Yes,
that
yes.
originally aired
The
on
original,
Cartoon Network.
they were traditional animation. Yeah,
She came from there.
yeah,
And so did Grievous's coughing, by the way.
yep.
So again, I know for whatever reason it's considered non-canon, but it's canon as fuck. So anyway, but yeah, it's interesting that she was introduced in that series, and yeah, here we are, and she's still around, and she's
I think
been in
it's
a ton of stuff. I don't know. I think she's been in a lot of shit, in my opinion. Never a movie though.
right. Well, that's the thing too, because Cad Bane we got in live action in The Mandalorian, but we never
Yeah, we've never
gotten her in live action. I'm like, well, could they be setting that up to bring her into something, um, live action?
Yeah.
That would be interesting. And what was I going to say? Um, that oh yeah, because that's the thing too. She was Dooku's assassin basically,
Mm-hmm.
and but they didn't bring her into Attack of the Clones. Like that's where she should have been in live action, and they didn't bring her in. And it's like, why? You know, like the character was already created by Lucas in the original shorts before, we got the movie, I think, right? Or was the movie maybe well, you'd have to imagine they were created at the same time. So he had the idea.
Well, no, those shorts led up to Revenge of the Sith.
Right.
So it wouldn't be Clone Wars that she would possibly be in.
Okay.
It would be Revenge of the Sith. But yeah, she's just not.
So yeah, exactly. That was just like why, like, I don't know. Maybe they didn't think there were too many Sith and Jedi in the movie. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
So yeah, the Cad Bane story though, like, first off, I was confused because the guy who finds him I thought was Cad Bane at first because he had the hat and he had the blue skin, and I'm like,
Sure, I had that thought. Yeah,
I'm like, oh, okay, so this is how Cad Bane's operating on, and it was like, no, one of the kids is Cad, and so he uses the kids. He gives them the guy, this gangster gives them money, and gets them to help him basically assassinate another gang person who's running like an illegal casino in the back of a store. He hires them to be a distraction. Things kind of go south, and the cops are there and they're running away. One of the boys gets captured. The other goes with them, and that the one that gets with them is Cad Bane. And then we flash forward to now he's a grown up, young man, and he's now just like the guy who saved him. He's obviously with the gang, and he's there, and they're leaving and they're going to the neighborhood where they picked them up, and then the ship comes back and the guy was killed, the head of the gang. So now Cad's whole thing is revenge to get the lawman that killed his thing. And he goes back to the neighborhood and runs into his old friend, like you said, already alluded to. The friend is, the one who got arrested is now working for the police. And, Cad is basically taking over the gang, I guess. And it's like, wait. And it's like the first time they've seen each other in years. Like, Cad never went back to the neighborhood, like never wanted to go visit his friend because he calls him one of his best friends. But yeah,
he never checked up on him.
He never checked up on him. And then because he's surprised when he finds out that he's a lawman, and then then his whole thing is like he's going to go after the marshal for killing the other guy, and that's it. That's his whole motivation is he killed the guy who forced me to join his gang, basically. So now I'm going to kill the law. And it's just like, and his friend is like, no, don't do it. And he, spoilers, he ends up killing the friend at the end,
Yeah.
and then just walks away, saunters away. And it was just like, okay, but like, I don't understand his motivation. Like, there was like, you didn't show me any real tragedy that caused him to like really go down this road, or you didn't see him trying to be a good guy and keep failing, and then that's why he ends up thinking this is the only way, or showing him being portrayed.
Yeah, no, he just takes to it,
Yeah, he just takes to being a bad guy.
Life of crime.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of, he was in love with that woman, but then she ended up getting with this now lawman, but then dying. And so he's taking care of Cad Bane's son, which I'm like, how did they not figure out? Because he's like, out of that trio, he was the only blue one. So how the other two were green Duros, he was a blue Duro. So I don't know how he didn't figure that out. But it turns out he didn't even, after he figured out, he didn't even give a fuck. He still was like, screw that,
Right.
So yeah, I mean, newsflash, Cad Bane is making horrible, villainous choices. I mean, I I don't know what to tell you. Like there's something to be said. But again,
yeah,
and that's what I think they're just trying to show you, is that the whole nature versus nurture argument, maybe. I don't know.
Well, but that's another thing too. They don't show like what happened to his friend at all either.
Yeah.
Like, did he got arrested and then got put into a foster family that like loved him, and that's why he, like, you can make those assumptions in your head, but they didn't show any of it. It was just now here they are as young men, and he's a cop and he's a gangster. It's like, okay, but we have no story. Like, that's the problem with doing shorts like this, and you're trying to tell this complete backstory for Cad Bane, but there's so many holes in the story because you only got 45 minutes to tell the whole story. It's like, well, that's not really going to work. So, but we'll see.
I guess that's part of the art form. How much can they shove in there, in 45 minutes?
Yeah, maybe this will lead to some more shorts with Cad Bane. We'll see. And maybe they'll do flashbacks.
Or maybe some Luke Skywalker shorts. Pre Last Jedi,
Well, we would all want that. That would be, that would be awesome. We'll see. All right. Well, that's it. Do we want to rate this show? Do we want to give it a rating, or is it
sure?
Like,
let's give it a rating.
All
sure,
right.
Why not?
Well, go ahead. Tell me, what do you think?
I give it 8 capes out of 10. I think it's delightful, interesting, doesn't take a lot of time investment. So yeah, enjoyable.
I can't disagree with that. I want to give it as high. I would say 7.5, just because of a couple little issues that I had with it. But like, if you need a distraction on a Saturday afternoon, you'd have an hour and a half to kill. Like, just go watch it. So it's like, it's not gonna hurt you. It might not have any consequence, though. I think it might. I don't think they're gonna tell these stories and just leave them be. Like, this will have some impact down the road, but yeah, go watch it. It's a fun little distraction. All right, well, here we are. We're at that time again, as we are in every episode. We have to ask the question,
what did we learn on the show tonight?
Or do you have a recommendation? So go ahead, Don. What do you got for us?
I didn't learn anything on the show tonight other than maybe Wednesdays when the weather's nice.
Yeah.
Just gonna be me and you, buddy. Hopefully everyone enjoys it on the back end there.
Yep.
And what do I recommend? I just want to circle back real quick, I guess, and recommend the Star Wars Tales of the Underworld. If you haven't watched it, it's brief, it's interesting, and I'd really like to know your, what do you think in the comments below? Do you think it was well written like I do? Do you think it was okay written like Dave, or do you think it's total shit? or the best thing ever? Let us know in the comments.
I'm sure
After you like and subscribe.
I'm sure Kassan thinks it's total shit.
I would be interested. Maybe that's why he's not tuning in.
Maybe.
So,
Wait, we got a comment.
oh,
It's spam. Never mind. All right. I learned that on Wednesdays, it's tough to get a good crowd sometimes. We don't even have oh my god, I can't think of his name. Our
Frosty, we don't have Thrawn, Okasan.
Yeah. James, who sometimes watches us as a distraction while he's doing stuff on Wednesday. I don't even have James tonight, so yeah, guys, you let us down. Curse you. Recommendations. Well, let me start by saying I recommend if you've gotten this far in the podcast, you haven't done so yet, click that like button, hit that subscribe button, click that bell for notifications so you don't miss us when we go live here on Sunday and Wednesday nights. If you are watching this after the fact, comment down below. Let us know what you thought of Star Wars Tales from the Underworld, and also let us know if you would like to see an animated shorts with like Luke or Leia or Han or any of our favorite characters that
Ben Solo.
Maybe. Yeah, show us young Ben being trained by Luke. That would be a fun little cartoon. So yeah. Recommendations. I got nothing except I don't know. What are we here's my okay, I have a question before I recommend it something. Do you have any desire to see the live action How to Train Your Dragon?
Yes. Because I think my kids are going to want to see it.
Yes. My girlfriend's one son is definitely going to want to go see it. So we were actually going to try to go this weekend.
Is it coming up this weekend? Okay.
Yeah, it's this weekend is the movie.
Because the kids ain't going to be here.
All right. I was going to recommend go see it because we'll go see it and talk about it. But if you're not going to go see it, then we'll think of something else to talk about on Sunday. All right. So then I just recommend, go check out Tales of the Underworld because it's a good little distraction. So that's it. That is it. We will wrap it up there. I got nothing more to say. So on that note, boys and girls, as always, thanks for watching. Don't let your cape get caught in the door. See you next time.
If you haven't done so yet, subscribe. It really keeps this podcast alive. Smash the like button if you please. It gives us what we need. Maybe leave a comment or two. It's a really nice thing to do. And what are you waiting